Welcome, and thank you for being here. Tonight, we are going to take our time. We will move slowly, carefully, through a mystery that has lingered for more than half a century. This is the story known as the Isdal Woman case. It is a case without a name, without a past that can be proven, and without a clear ending. What remains are fragments, burned clothing, suitcases filled with coded notes, and a woman whose identity was never confirmed. To understand this story, we must begin in Norway, in the late autumn of 1970. Bergen, Norway, is surrounded by mountains and forests. Even today, the terrain can feel quiet and isolating. In November, the days are short. The air is cold, and the forests are often wrapped in mist. On Sunday, November 29, 1970, a father and his two daughters were hiking in the Isdalen Valley. The valley was known locally as a dangerous place. Steep paths, sudden weather changes. It even carried an old nickname, the Valley of Death. During their hike, one of the daughters noticed something unusual among the rocks. At first, it did not look like a person. Just a dark shape. Something out of place. When they moved closer, they realized what they were seeing. The burned body of a woman. The body was lying among stones, partially burned. Her face was badly damaged by fire. Her hands were positioned in a way that later raised questions, almost as if she had been shielding herself. Nearby, investigators would later find personal items. A passport cover with the passport removed. Pieces of burned clothing. Empty sleeping pill containers. There was no sign of a campfire. No obvious container for fuel. And no clear explanation for how the fire had started. The police were called, and the investigation began. The autopsy revealed more unsettling details. The woman had inhaled soot. This meant she was alive when the fire started. Traces of gasoline were found on her clothing. Inside her stomach, investigators found between 50 and 70 sleeping pills. A lethal amount. Her death was officially ruled a suicide. But almost immediately, questions began to form. The woman had no identification. No wallet. No personal documents. Her fingerprints did not match any records in Norway. And soon, it became clear this was not an ordinary death. When police searched the Bergen train station lockers, they found 2 suitcases linked to the woman. Inside were clothes with all labels carefully removed. Not cut roughly, but neatly. As if done intentionally, over time. They also found wigs, sunglasses, makeup, and different currencies from several countries. There were notebooks filled with strange codes. Letters and numbers arranged in sequences. At first glance, they meant nothing. But investigators soon realized the codes represented travel dates and locations. Hotels. Cities. Movements across Europe. Using hotel records, police traced the woman's path. She had stayed in numerous hotels in Norway. always under different names. Some of the names included Genevieve Lancier, Claudia Tielt, Elizabeth Lienhauer. Witnesses remembered her as polite but distant. She spoke several languages: German, French, English, and possibly Flemish. She often paid in cash. She asked for rooms with balconies. And she sometimes changed rooms for unclear reasons. In one hotel, staff recalled that she smelled strongly of garlic, a detail that later fueled speculation about counter-surveillance tactics. In another hotel, she asked about military installations. At the height of the Cold War, this detail mattered. Norway was a NATO country, and Bergen housed sensitive naval activity. Rumors began to circulate quietly. Intelligence, espionage, a woman moving invisibly across borders. Yet, no agency ever claimed her, and no classified files were released to explain her actions. The passports she used were fake, but professionally made, not amateur forgeries. Dental examinations suggested she may have grown up in Central Europe. Isotope testing decades later pointed toward regions such as Germany or Belgium. In 2016, the case was reopened. Advances in forensic science offered new hope. A facial reconstruction showed a woman in her 30s or early 40s, with sharp features, a composed expression. Despite renewed attention, her identity remained unconfirmed. Some believe she was a spy who chose death rather than exposure. Others believe she was part of something smaller: smuggling, illegal trade, or simply a woman running from a past she could not escape. There are contradictions. Why burn herself in such a remote place? Why remove every label? Why carry wigs but leave fingerprints everywhere? The official conclusion of suicide has never fully settled these questions. Near the end of this story, it is worth pausing. The Isdal Woman has often been discussed as a mystery, as a puzzle, as speculation. But she was also a person. Someone who walked into hotels, ordered meals, spoke kindly to strangers, and then vanished into fire. Perhaps the most unsettling part of this case is not what we do not know, but how completely someone can disappear, even in a world filled with records. The Isdal Woman was buried in Bergen in February of 1971, with a simple ceremony. No family present, no name on the grave. More than 50 years later, she remains unidentified. And so the story rests, not with answers, but with silence. If you found this story meaningful, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with someone who values quiet, careful storytelling. Thank you for listening. And until next time, take care.